the heart of this nation, under skies so blue,
there's a spirit that's stirring, values strong and true.
from the mountains to the prairies, from the cities to the sea, we stand for liberty, for faith and family. We're diving deep into the heart of what we believe.
It feels like every day there's a million different things happening all at once, and it's impossible to like stay on top of it all, right?
Oh, yeah.
It's like you want to be informed, but you can't spend all day like glued to the news.
Right.
So that's what we're doing here with these deep dives.
Absolutely.
Trying to like break it down, make sense of things.
Yeah, give people the information they need.
Right. And so today we're looking at a situation that's been making some noise recently.
Okay.
It has to do with D.C. District Court Chief Judge James Boasberg and some scrutiny surrounding his daughter's professional life and how it might relate to his decisions on the bench.
Got it. So we're talking about potential conflicts of interest, essentially.
Exactly. And we're basing this whole deep dive on an article we found in American Wire News.
Okay, so let's dive into this article, see what it says.
So the article focuses on Judge Boasberg's daughter, Katharine Boasberg.
Okay.
And it says she works for an organization called Partners in Justice.
Partners in Justice.
Yeah, PFJ. And they describe it as a pro-migrant nonprofit.
Interesting. Okay, so right away we're dealing with an organization that's involved in a pretty hot-button issue.
Right. Immigration is always the big topic. And the article goes on to say that PFJ received a pretty big chunk of change from the government in 2023.
Oh, wow. How much are we talking?
Like $3.3 million in grants.
Okay, so they're definitely a player in this space.
Yeah, and the article says Katharine Boasberg's role at PFJ is in something they call capacity building work.
Capacity building work.
Yeah, specifically in public defender offices across the country.
So basically helping these offices function better, be more effective.
Right, and that makes sense when you look at her background.
What's her background like?
Well, the article mentions that using the Wayback Machine, they found that she used to work at the Center for Justice Innovation.
Oh, the Wayback Machine. It's always a good resource.
It is, for sure. You can find some interesting stuff on there.
Absolutely. So what was she doing at the Center for Justice Innovation?
She was assisting people in Brooklyn criminal court with what are called alternatives to incarceration programs.
Okay, so again, working within the criminal justice system, but on the side of supporting defendants.
Right, and the article also points out her education.
Okay.
She graduated from the University of Michigan with a focus on social theory and practice concentrating in prison reform.
So her background is definitely aligned with advocating for changes within the criminal justice system.
Exactly. And she even worked as an investigator and a mitigation specialist in public and federal defender offices during her time at university.
So she's got a pretty extensive history in this field.
Yeah, and here's where things get a little more interesting.
Okay.
The article claims that Katharine Boasberg's bio page was taken down from the PFJ website.
Taken down.
Yeah, after Judge Boasberg was appointed to a case related to the Alien Enemies Act.
So the timing of that removal is definitely eyebrow-raising.
Right, and the article suggests that this might be an attempt to downplay any connection between her work and her father's rulings.
I see. So now we're starting to get into those potential conflict of interest concerns.
Exactly, and the article goes on to introduce the founder of Partners in Justice, Emily Galvin Almanza.
Okay.
And this is where they really start connecting the organization's views to Judge Boasberg's decisions.
How so?
Well, the article highlights that Galvin Almanza has been publicly opposed to President Trump using the Alien Enemies Act to deport people.
Okay, that's certainly relevant to the case Judge Boasberg was appointed to.
Right. And they even include a tweet from her where she expresses approval of Judge Boasberg's temporary restraining order on that matter.
So she's publicly praising a ruling made by the father of someone who works at her organization.
Yeah, and according to the article, she locked down comments on the tweet after receiving some backlash.
So clearly her opinion wasn't universally shared.
Right, and the article also brings up another instance where Galvin Almanza expressed her views publicly.
Okay, what was that about?
It was about the Laken Riley Act.
Okay.
And she apparently posted a video criticizing it, a video that even featured the PFJ logo.
So again, she's using her platform to advocate for a specific stance on a policy issue.
Right. And the article even quotes part of her caption from the video where she says that laws passed under the cover of a tragic name are often duplicative, cruel, or nakedly political, and that rule holds here.
So she's making a pretty strong statement against this particular law.
Yeah, and the article uses this as further evidence of the organization's stance on immigration and criminal justice issues.
So basically painting a picture of PFJ as having a clear agenda.
Right, and this is where the article really lays it all out.
Okay.
It explicitly links Judge Boasberg's rulings to his daughter's work at PFJ.
So they're directly implying that there's a connection between his personal life and his professional decisions.
Exactly, and they even say that the scrutiny has arisen as the judge continues to thwart President Donald Trump's agenda.
So they're framing this as a partisan issue.
Right. And to add fuel to the fire,
Yeah.
the article mentions a comment from Elon Musk on the situation.
Elon Musk. Okay, so now we've got a big name involved.
Yeah, and his comment was just one word: concerning.
Concerning, huh?
Yeah, short, but definitely attention-grabbing.
Especially coming from someone with such a huge online following.
Right, so now we've got this article making these connections and Elon Musk weighing in.
And it's important to remember that all of this is coming from this one source, American Wire News.
Exactly. We're just laying out what they've presented without adding our own opinions.
Right, we're not endorsing their viewpoint, just trying to understand it.
So to sum it all up, the article says Judge Boasberg's daughter works for this nonprofit PFJ, which they describe as pro-migrant and which received a ton of government funding.
Okay.
And the founder of PFJ has openly criticized policies and legal actions associated with the Trump administration, including some that Judge Boasberg himself ruled on.
Right.
So the article's point is that this connection raises questions about whether Judge Boasberg can be truly impartial.
Especially since his rulings tend to go against Trump's agenda.
Exactly. And when you add in Elon Musk's comment, it's clear that this situation has caught the attention of a lot of people.
Yeah, it definitely raises some interesting questions about the intersection of family ties, professional lives, and public service.
And it's particularly relevant in areas like immigration and criminal justice, where policy decisions can be so controversial.
Absolutely. And this case, as presented by American Wire News, really highlights those complexities, and I think it gives us a lot to think about.
Yeah, and it's a good reminder that these kinds of situations are becoming more and more common.
Definitely. And it's up to each of us to evaluate the information and form our own conclusions.
Well said. And with that, we'll wrap up this deep dive. I hope you found it informative.
Thanks for having me.
And as always, we encourage you to do your own research, look into the sources we've discussed, and come to your own conclusions.
That's the best way to stay informed and engaged.
Thanks for listening.
See you next time.